LOL. Resident Evil cancelled by Netflix after one season. Ah, who could have predicted this? Big old lols. Lol, 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 lol. Yeah, I saw this. This was absolutely hilarious. I mean, what do you expect? And I think more to the point, this pendulum is swinging now. Swinging back. Swing, 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 swing. Because the likes of this crap gets cancelled. I mean, this was garbage. It was a terrible show. I watched all of it. And, you know, I'll never get my life back that I wasted on that. So, I guess, you know, shame on me. But Resident Evil cancelled after a single season on Netflix. Now, I think there's an important discussion to be had that Constantine Films, the same people that made the Resident Evil films, made this. And I believe they probably did this under full knowledge that it probably wouldn't get a second season. But it meant that they could keep the rights again. This is, I firmly believe, a rights retainer production. Just made quickly to keep the rights. That's it. Oh, we got the rights, never mind. Netflix bought it, we got some money. We covered it. Maybe a little bit of profit. Maybe they'll renew it, maybe not. Who cares? We've still got the rights. I bet you anything that is what happened. I guarantee it, in fact. Again, I could be wrong, so, you know, no actual guarantee, but still. The first live-action series in the Resident Evil franchise will be a short-lived one. Netflix has cancelled the series after a single season, and the decision comes 6 weeks after Resident Evil's July 14th debut, and after both the streamer's own metrics and external measurements showed that the series didn't have a long shelf life with viewers. Yeah, it was fucking trash. It was so bad. So the series was the first live-action show in the media-spanning Resident Evil universe after a host of video games and movie adaptations, and a Netflix animated series that premiered in 2021. It's set primarily in 2036, 14 years after a deadly virus caused a global apocalypse, and centers on a young woman fighting for survival amid hordes of zombies and other monsters. Yeah, and world's worst parent literally has her kid taken from her, and all I could think of was, yeah, good at that point. Terrible. Now, the cast also includes Lance Reddick, who actually, you know, in fairness, did a really good job, but just not good. He shouldn't have been involved. Tamara Smart, Sienna Agudong, Adeline Rudolph, Paolo Nunez, Ahad Razamir, Connor Gossati, and Turlo Converi. So this is the interesting thing, right? Resident Evil opened to decent numbers, apparently, by both Netflix's public rankings. So 72.7 million hours viewed. I'd be keen to see what, actual... Not hours, but I'd be keen to see how many people tuned in. You know, because that doesn't help, right? 72.7 million hours in the first week doesn't really tell us how many people were tuning in. There's not many people. Like, what does that tell us? Nothing. And then Nielsen's streaming measurement said 858 million minutes, or 14.3 million hours in the United States was watched. So that's interesting. But in the second week, relatively flat. 73.26 million hours globally. Per Netflix, 772 million minutes. 12.87 million hours in the US per Nielsen. So it dropped off considerably in the last week of July, declining by 62%. In Netflix's measure, and falling off Nielsen's top 10 original streaming series chart. I mean, that's not a surprise, though. Again, word of mouth of this show would have got round very quickly that it was absolute poo. And you only had to watch the first episode to know it was garbage. The first episode was genuinely terrible. Genuinely terrible. Now, the show was also sandwiched in between the final episodes of Stranger Things and the high-profile launch of The Sandman. So they put it there to die, I guess. You know, you're putting it between two very, very popular shows. You know, in terms of franchise base, built-in audience, etc. I reckon they probably just put it there to die, to be honest. Now, interesting, Andrew Dabb, who did Supernatural, was the showrunner on Resident Evil and executive produced which is surprising. But then obviously we get to the real crux of why it was so garbage. So Constantine Films' Robert Koltzer and Oliver Bourbon were also executive producers. Constantine CEO Martin Mozgowicz, something like that, is a producer on the series. So, I mean, look, what can we learn about this, right? Well, in terms of especially how the Hollywood Reporter are framing it, right? So they're saying, look, Resident Evil opened to decent numbers, but is it always interesting how like a mainstream media outlet will sort of quantify this? So they're saying that it didn't have staying power, right? Now, I wasn't really aware that a series had to have staying power. I thought that it just had to be pretty popular. So, like, by the original metrics that you're getting, not horrendous. It's very difficult to tell whether it was good or not. But not seemingly horrendous. 72.7 million hours. Maybe that's good. Again, who knows? But it's that it dropped off so rapidly. So Netflix, essentially, what Hollywood Reporter is saying is that they want people to sit here and just keep watching it. Maybe. But the point is, it's cancelled. Good. You know, good riddance to bad rubbish. And I guess, again, the back of this is that a lot of people will just be like, well, it's cancelled, yay. But never underestimate the fact that they may have made this a tax break, because the money that they pour out is obviously tax-free. It's an investment. But secondly, to keep the rights. They may very, very full well have made this, Constantine Films, just to keep the rights. Now, I think that's a massive shame if that is the case, because Capcom should get the rights back, I believe. And the reason why I believe that is because Constantine Films are very clearly not the right people to hold the rights. But you get my drift, right? They make crap consistently. So they just get rid of them. If you can, Capcom, just get rid of them. And this did terrible in Japan as well. So even like the original, locale for the IP didn't like the show. It's just a dreadful, dreadful adaptation. And most things that Constantine Films do are dreadful in general. So it's a shame that they've still got the rights. Not a shame that it's cancelled. Again, so long to this piece of crap. Garbage. No one wants this. So let me know what you guys think down below. Ha 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 ha. To Netflix cancelling Resident Evil, I guess.